As we get started this morning, I'm Chris Paporis, the very proud superintendent of the Euclid schools. But before I speak about Freight Farms and the Urban Ag Culture program, I would like to introduce Board President Kathy DeAngelis.
Good morning. As Mr. Paporis said, I'm Kathy DeAngelis, President of the Euclid City Schools Board of Education. I am honored to be here today to celebrate this exciting investment in our students. I'd like to recognize the contributions of my fellow board members, Vice President Gabrielle Kelly, Donna Sudar, Pam Toros, and Selena Wright, who helped approve the final piece of funding to purchase this container farm. I would also like to recognize the Euclid Schools Foundation and the Lakeshore Compact for their part they played in funding the unit. I want to thank Mr. Stevens for all the work he's done to bring this idea to life. He started this project a few years ago and has seen it through from uncertain concepts all the way to today, where we stand with a fully functioning farm. I'm very excited about the future of this program. I'm excited about the opportunity for our students, and I'm excited for some homegrown Euclid lettuce.
We also have special guest State Representative Elliot Forehand here today. So, State Rep, will you please come on up?
Thank you, Chris. My name is Elliot Forehand. I represent in the Ohio House of Representatives right here, the communities, including the beautiful city of Euclid. I just want to briefly say congratulations to Superintendent Paporis and to the Euclid school system for this fantastic asset, the addition that will, I think, be a great thing both for education in our communities here, but also for food security. I think it's an example of the kind of hands-on learning opportunities that really, maybe even literally, make the material come to life for the students. But also to be able to produce food locally. I think this is something that we can all be very proud of. So again, congratulations and thank you.
As I started off, good morning. I'm Chris Paporis, the very proud superintendent and alumnus of our Euclid schools. I'm thrilled to celebrate the grand opening of Freight Farms, which is a hydroponic container as part of our urban agriculture program. Over the last 15 years, I can't believe it's been that long, but I have been honored to serve the Euclid community and schools. And days like today give me great pride in being a lifelong Panther. I do have some acknowledgments before we go on, and I know Ms. DeAngelis already pointed them out, but congrats to Dr. Stevens and the urban agriculture students for being one of the first high schools in the country to operate a Freight Farm container, and we believe it is the only one in the state of Ohio, thanks to Dr. Stevens for his passion. Thank you to the Euclid School Board for supporting the purchase of this revolutionary equipment, to Assistant Superintendent Karen Brown for securing the approval and for some funding from the Lakeshore Compact. And a special thanks to the Euclid Schools Foundation's generosity, which in large part made this possible. I also want to acknowledge Chris from the Freight Farms Board of Directors, also made the trip here from Boston. During the process, I explained Chris also is a relative, and the Lord has blessed us with two Chris Paporises. So we are both here today. So thanks for making the trip, Chris. This Freight Farm of the future will give our urban agricultural students an authentic, cutting-edge experience while supporting STEM education in Euclid. As leaders at the forefront of agricultural education, this investment will allow to prepare our students to work in the agricultural field right out of high school with knowledge and experience as leaders. As Governor DeWine and the Ohio Department of Education have made very clear, it is, and I quote, our obligation to make sure every Ohioan has the tools to succeed and get a good job and live their dreams. I believe in Euclid, we are in fact doing that. This is an example of just one of our CTE programs here in Euclid. Together with the Lakeshore Compact, which includes Mentor in Wycliffe, we have over 20 career tech programs that prepare our kids for the future, and we have more on the horizon. So we get to the point of what is the container? The Freight Farms Greenery S container is capable of growing over 500 crop varieties, about 80 different types of lettuce, 30 different types of leafy greens, over 30 types of herbs, 18 types of flowers, 15 types of root vegetables. We can grow everything from collard greens to romaine lettuce to Parisian carrots to sorbet violas. So when you go to those fine restaurants, you can't eat the flowers. Why is this important? Over the last century, the U.S. farming has dropped by roughly 70%. The average meal in the United States travels 1,500 miles from the farm to plate. This container gives our students the power to provide fresh, local food to their community year-round. The use of technology and science, our students are learning to grow organic, pesticide-free foods with a traceable origin right here to Euclid. Additionally, 70% of global fresh water is used for agricultural purposes. For perspective, traditionally to grow a single head of lettuce takes almost 4 gallons of water during the season. But to grow a head of lettuce here in the container, it takes about 1/10 a gallon of water. The container, therefore, will help create no water runoff, which helps protect Lake Erie. It also prevents fertilized contamination that creates the algae blooms we've seen in Lake Erie in past summers. Lake Erie truly is a beautiful lake, and this will help do the part to protect the lake. The farm behind me is capable of producing enough nutritious food so our students will have an opportunity to learn to sell produce to local businesses, donate to local hunger centers, and to sell at their very own farmers market. Additionally, as part of our K-12 career curriculum, we already have had elementary school students make field trips to a variety of our career tech programs, but also to urban agriculture. And I would be remiss not to mention that growing healthy foods contributes to our community. One of my priorities as superintendent has been to address student, staff, and community wellness, and I think this endeavor helps towards this priority. As many of you know, I have a perspective of the world that is from the pro-human element, which means that we share our humanity with everyone else on the planet, and we are far more alike than we are different. And I so strongly believe that this connects with One Euclid. This farm will help us join a global position of a sustainable future of food production, and this type will help people of the world flourish. This joint investment in our students is an embodiment of the vision of shared humanity, and we will educate our students, provide food for our community, and support the mindset of One Euclid. So in closing, One Euclid extends further than just a group of friends or our classrooms or our schools. It truly means the whole community. We have an alumni association of over 1,000 active members. We also have the financial support of the Euclid Schools Foundation. This year alone, the foundation has provided over $190,000 in grants, including a grant to make this project possible. We have career tech programs that compete at a national level. We have the best facilities a school district can offer its community. We have extraordinary and dedicated teachers, administrators, and support staff. And most importantly, we have some of the most resilient and powerful students a community can ask for. The Euclid community supports our schools and our students. We are, in fact, One Euclid. I thank you for your kindness of coming out on this chilly day today and to allow me to boast what we're doing here. Congratulations to Dr. Stevens and his students, and as always, we are one Euclid. Thank you. Jess Walters is also here from the Euclid Schools Foundation. So Jess, if you want to come up and say a few words.
Sure. Hi everyone, I'm Jessica Walters. I'm the president and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Greater Cleveland, and I also have the privilege of serving as the grants committee chair for the Euclid Schools Foundation. So just wanted to say congratulations. As Chris said, this year we gave over $190,000 in direct support to teachers across the district, teachers, administrators, support staff who make requests to the foundation, and we were thrilled to be able to provide this lead gift to get the excitement and enthusiasm started for Freight Farms and to connect with Josh and learn more about the project prior to funding. It was maybe a little bit nerve-wracking when we called for that second meeting to learn more about the project, but really when we do that, it's to learn more about the enthusiasm and the passion of the requesters and to get all the information that we need to be able to fill the grant. So congratulations everyone, and thank you.
And finally, the passion, as you heard by I think everyone that was up here, Dr. Stevens will now talk a little bit about the project.
Thank you, that is overly kind. But what an exciting day. This is incredible. I'm so blown away that we're all standing here in front of this very unlikely box from which food comes. I want to reiterate my thanks to all the people that have made this possible, Euclid Schools Foundation and my school board, my administrators, and my community. My community is very important to me. I live here in Euclid. My children go to this school. This is a core part of my identity, and I believe in this community. We have always been able to do more than what people have told us we can do. When I approached people at the board or from the grantors with this concept, I was never fearful that they would laugh at me or think this was a bad idea. I was only worried how long this would take and how much pain it would take all of us to get there. But we pushed through. My belief in what this farm represents is central to our identity as Euclideans. We are big, we are bold, we can do things that other people can only dream of because we can coalesce around concepts that are exciting like this farm. I am so proud of my students for coming along with me so far on this journey. One day in December, a crane dropped this off outside the door, and we said, well, let's make it work. So we started to unpack it and unbox it and connect it to the water and the electricity and the data. We put it all together, and they were there from the very beginning. It was their energy and their passion for being part of this industry that really propelled us forward in a really exciting way. Some of my students are here today with us, which I'm very proud of all of you. Some of them are getting their hair done for prom because it is prom season, and let's get our priorities straight. Speaking of priorities, I do want to talk briefly about what the farm means for us as a program. My students will now be having cutting-edge agricultural education that is not seen in hardly any other location in this country. They are doing it right here in Euclid. They can walk through the doors of Memorial School, into my classroom, learn the basics of hydroponics in a seat, and then walk out to this farm and apply it. That is the essence of what John Dewey and other great educators always taught us education should be, and that is what we're doing here. I'm very excited to be able to introduce the farm to all of you and to show you some of what we've grown. We have had a very successful start with the farm, and I'm very excited that you are here to share it with us. Briefly, here's what I'm about to show off as I have you tour the farm. The farm is in two components. In the upper section here is what we call the nursery zone. That's where we do seeding, and then the plants will sit in a tray for 3 weeks as they develop. Then they're transferred to the cultivation zone, which is like the back 2/3 here. That's where they'll be hanging horizontally from the ceiling, and they're fed nutrients for another 4 weeks, and then we crank out heads of lettuce. When this unit is fully up and producing, which will be shortly, we will be up to 200 heads of lettuce a week, some of which will be sold directly to local retailers. So we will be funding the farm mostly through sales directly from the unit. The rest will be put into the Euclid Hunger Center or the Hunger Network. The goal here is to cover our costs and combat food insecurity in our community. This part of Euclid, where we are standing presently, has been classified as a USDA food desert. This unit will help to alleviate that problem. This is the problem solving that school districts that are willing to think big can accomplish. I'm very proud to be a part of it. I want to thank all of my administrators, especially Mr. Paporis and Mrs. Brown, for helping us propel this forward. It's a strange thing to have someone ask for something like this, but they never blinked and they just went for it. So thank you very much. And now I'd like to show you guys the farm if people want to see.